Renee Dre, who will be doing an educational presentation on setting the stage for others. Renee was also selected to represent Sac County at the Iowa State Fair.
Set the stage. What does that really mean? Set the stage for yourself. Set goals. Work towards your goals. Achieve your goals. But what about little children that are going through the adoption process or in a temporary foster home? Or what about a child that is sick and in the hospital and they don't even know if they will be here tomorrow? How do children going through these situations set the stage for their lives? Hi, I'm Renee Dre and I'm an intermediate member of the Early Achievers Voice Club. Today I'm going to tell you how I have helped to set the stage for children going through these tough life situations. I'm going to tell you how I have done 2 community service projects to help set the stage for little ones and how it has made me feel. Community service has always been important to me. Since I was little, I have always wanted to help others, especially little kids. One of the big things that has inspired me to do community service is 4-H. Our club is always doing some kind of service project. This year, I decided to do 2 community service projects to help set the stage for others. Scene 1, blankets. I started off by making 15 flannel blankets for the Sac County Development Center. The Development Center is a place where families can go when they are in hard times. It is a place where foster kids can get items to call their own. Most foster kids don't have anything of their own. This is a special comfort item that a child can take with them. I first wrote a grant to the Sac County Endowment Committee. I asked for $250 and they gave me the full amount. I shopped online at a fabric warehouse. It was fun to pick out all the different kinds of fabric. I picked out a print for the front of the blanket and a solid color for the back. Some of the fabric I picked out was for boys and some of it was for girls. Some of it was for both boys and girls. After I picked all the fabric out, I placed the order. I received free shipping since I spent a certain amount of money. While waiting for the fabric to arrive at my house, I went shopping for the batting. I took my grandmother along and we got what we needed. If you tell people at most places that you are doing a 4-H community service project, they will give you a 4-H discount. The thread was donated by my leaders and my mother. As soon as the fabric arrived, I went into my grandmother's house. My club was going to help me with this project at our lock-in, so I had to prepare for the lock-in. I cut the fabric so that it was cut for the blankets, and I cut the batting to different sizes for the blankets, and I pinned some of the blankets together. I also made one blanket so that my club knew what they were doing at the lock-in. At the lock-in, they cut, pinned, and tied blankets. To sew the blankets, the members and I sewed right sides together, leaving an opening to turn the blanket, and then turn the blanket inside out so that the right side was showing. My grandmother volunteered to whip stitch all of the blankets shut. Then we tied the blanket with yarn that was donated by a 4-H mother and my grandmother. I was the leader of the project, along with my mother and grandmother's assistants. All of the members enjoyed doing this project with me. After the lock-in, I made 5 blankets that were not yet completed. Then I set up a time with the Development Center and delivered the blankets to them. They were very grateful of the donation. This is what the completed blanket looked like. Scene 2, Children's Book Drive. This idea started out as a stuffed animal drive, but when there were no places to take the stuffed animals, I decided to go with the Children's Book Drive. My guidance counselor hooked me up with a place that they could go. It turned out to be the Sac County Development Center, the same place that took my blankets, so they knew me pretty well by now. I immediately contacted them, and they told me that they would accept the donations. The next step was to set a date for the drive. I set the collection dates for the book drive as April 23rd through May 2nd. I sent flyers home with the children at my school and hung flyers up around town. Information was placed in all the church bulletins. There were going to be 3 drop-off locations: the school, a church, and a downtown business. My school is going through a consolidation, therefore they were very willing to donate many books to my book drive. I went in and helped the librarian one day. I helped her sort the books and discard them from the system. I also helped pack up all the books and carry them out to my family's vehicle. After collecting the books from all the different drop-off locations, my drive had brought in 1,223 books. I spent around 6 hours sorting the books into different categories so they could be dispersed accordingly. We had everything from little children's books to chapter books to even adult books. When I decided there probably wasn't enough room for these books at the development center, I started contacting other people. My aunt, who works for Upper Des Moines, accepted some of the donations. The Children's Hospital in Des Moines took all of the hardcover books. The Iowa Kids Net in Sioux City took the remaining donations. Each place that I donated to was very grateful of the donations. By doing these 2 projects, I helped foster kids, less fortunate families' kids, sick children in the hospital, and kids going through the adoption process to set the stage for their lives. Foster kids sometimes don't have something to call their own. Hopefully the donation on my blankets and books will fix that problem. When kids are in the hospital and sick, you want to make them feel as normal as possible. By donating books, they will get the opportunity to read stories that every child loves. I hope the donation on my blankets and books help them feel like they have something that can help them overcome the hard times and start setting the stage for their lives. Today I have told you what my community service projects were this year and how it helped to set the stage for others. I made blankets for a local development center that went to less fortunate kids and foster kids. Holding a book drive brought in over 1,000 books, and kids in the central and northwest part of the state are enjoying them at this very moment. Doing 2 community service projects like this makes such a difference. I spent about 15 hours working on these projects. The outcome of my projects will last a lifetime. A child will keep the blanket they had when they were younger forever. Most children will keep their favorite books until they are adults and share them with their children. It makes me happy to know that a few hours of my life were spent making a blanket for a special child. They will always have that special blanket or book to comfort them through the good times and the bad. This is why community service means so much to me and why I enjoy helping to set the stage for others. I challenge you to go from this room today and help to set the stage for others, whether it be little kids or the elderly. I want you to go out and make a difference in someone else's life, just as I did. This concludes my presentation. Are there any questions?